But no, so fucking the new set came out with this creature that I'm looking for. Oh man, of the 10. And I'm like, I didn't, because I don't play like often enough. So like I don't stockpile like the gold and whatnot to buy the cards, but they give you fucking 10 packs just because it's released.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, well, let me fucking pop open those and see what I get. And it's like fucking Forest Craft. It's like, I play Haven. I love Haven, and I don't have a deck built for any other fucking class. It's like fucking, I really love Druid, but
yeah,
I'm one of those shit bags.
I get it. You take one girl to the dance every time.
Yeah, well, no. And it's not by choice. It's because when I started the game, I got really good fucking Havencraft cards. And I'm like, well, fucking, I guess I'm Havencraft. And I just really liked the playstyle after that. And fucking, goddamn, I can't find the fucking angel. Whatever. Anyway, you drop the angel, and fucking, it brings in the statue with it. And then, oh no, when it dies.
Okay.
So it turns from comes from a 4-turn counter to a body, and then you get the 4-turn counter when it dies.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's still work to be done. Like,
yeah.
You can't just alt win by like attacking them with that thing.
No, well, I mean, because then you're just beating their face, you know.
Well, no, I mean that's.
But yeah, no, I wanted to look it up because I wanted the stat line for it, because I'm pretty sure it's like, I know it's an 8-drop. The creature itself is an 8-drop, but I don't know if the body is worth it, you know?
Oh yeah, to like go damage mode.
Yeah, because it's like saying, oh, well, you can get a platinum angel if you pay 16 mana for this 2/2.
Oh yeah, I get you, and it's like it just depends on the texture of the game.
Yeah,
like what's going on. Like,
yeah.
Well, if they're empty-handed and you have a guy, even if this thing has to die and make a 4-turn clock for you to win, it's like, well, you could still go aggro if they're empty board, empty hand.
Yeah, but like, I mean, there's because I was thinking too, because I'm like, well, once you put out a body, you want to die, it's like, well, what do you have to get rid of it? Because I'm thinking like Hearthstone, they'll just polymorph it, right?
Yeah.
And
most of the time you
abilities.
can just Hearthstone, you can also just attack into dudes.
Oh yeah.
If you want one of your dudes to die, you just attack into their dudes.
I'm not saying like as a counter to it. Like someone plays this against you and you don't want it to die normally.
You polymorph
you can polymorph it or like turn it into like 1/1 with no abilities.
Yeah, or like unsummon it.
Yeah,
there's a lot of things. Yeah, there's a lot of things. Oh, unsummon's bad. Like everybody talks shit about counter spells being bad in Magic.
Yeah,
like, and it's not that it's that bad because it's a 1-for-1
right.
most of the time, and even the free counter spells like Force of Will is a 2-for-1 because it costs them Force of Will plus another card to stop your one spell. But I mean, like, it was free, but at the same time,
well, you got to look at like where Force of Will is being played at, and it's just like that's worth it because it's a legacy only kind of thing, or whatever the hell set Force of Wills are allowed in.
It's only legacy, yeah. Legacy and vintage, but then it's the same
like,
thing. Where
in those formats, it's just like, if I don't stop this, it's a loss.
Well, okay, so the question is do you Force of Will him to Torok? It's 2-for-1, or you're selected 2-for-1.
Yeah.
Because you know what I mean?
Well, I would choose the Force of Will that, if my hand is that good.
If your hand's that good.
If my hand can hold that.
But if not, then it's like, if you let it resolve and they get the Force of Will out of your hand anyways, it's like, it was the same as if I countered it.
Well, see, then, that's the question. It's like, is my hand worth it? Is showing my hand going to give them enough knowledge to beat me later?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is like part of the reason why I love Magic so much more than the rest of these games, but like people talk bad about counter spells, but like tempoing your opponent on like, oh, I played a guy that's like a 7-mana guy. All right, well, I'll play a 2-mana spell to bring it back to your hand.
Oh yeah.
So you have to spend your next turn doing the same shit you just did this turn,
Yeah. Well, fucking, it's like my argument for that, like, because I understand they want like the newer players to not feel shut out at the start, but I'm like, didn't they do like, they did versions of the cards where it was counter target spell or counter target, colored spell or counter target creature. And I'm like, those should be the one-offs. Those should be the 1-drops. The very first turn, oh, I'm gonna cast a Raging Goblin. Well, I need to get rid of that. That's the newbie player stuff, and it's still good for like older players, for more mature players that know what they're doing.
Yeah.
You can hold a remove soul and just be like, because I know what deck they're playing, so let me just hold on to this remove soul, or hey, have a deck where you pitch cards, because it's a blue thing. Blue does that a lot.
Yeah, it does. So I mean,
it's ideas, it's strategies. That's what I fucking love about the damn games.
Yeah, I do, because I watched some stupid fucking Vsauce thing the other day of why we play games, and it's because you want to challenge yourself in ways, because once your needs have already been met at a certain level, okay, well, I'm not dying of any disease, I don't need food right now, and I'm not worried about companionship, so all right, I want to challenge myself intellectually,
I want to think and process and take in events, I want to fucking it's why I play action games, because I'm like, it's a test of skill, and it's
dexterity.
It's fun. It's just okay. Or like Devil May Cry. I don't play and just go kill the monsters and beat the level. No, I go and I do the cool stylish stuff. I want to challenge myself to see how cool I can
fucking
make it.
S+.
Hell yeah, fucking smoking style.
I thought you played it because you really liked that one guy that was the director that self-inserted himself into the game.
Fuck that. No, I play DMC with all capitals. I don't play capital D, lowercase m, capital C. I don't play that one.
Oh, okay, no. Okay. I thought we were playing. I thought I wanted to bring up the one that everybody forgot.
Here's a fucking lead into the Scumbag and Friends show. Welcome to it. But we're gonna fucking talk about scumbags, and we're gonna start with Tamim Antonitis. I think that's his fucking name.
Okay.
That's the dude that remade fucking Devil May Cry, and so. One of his press, his selling points to the fucking Capcom when he was pitching the game to them, or they came to him and he went back to them saying, "This is my idea of what Dante is," and he had this whole slideshow presentation. Have you seen these fucking things? No. So he did a breakdown of Dante is, and he's got fucking no, he starts with what Dante isn't, and it's okay, Dante isn't, and he's got a picture of Brokeback Mountain. The guys, because
he wishes he could quit them.
Yeah, because in one of the games, fucking Dante wears cowboy boots with his fucking trench coat and shit like that.
Okay,
I mean, it's just a look thing.
So
yeah, no, but he's okay, Dante isn't a gay cowboy, and then he's got fucking Brad Pitt from Fight Club. Dante is Brad Pitt from Fight Club.
Okay,
and he's got the cigarette hanging out of his mouth and everything. Dante isn't some fucking cosplay kid, fucking holding his fucking wolf fucking thing, but Dante is this edgy emo kid with a fucking hoodie.
Where
up.
was I during this? Because goddamn,
it's fucking hilarious. I'm pretty sure you could just look it up, fucking DMC and then fucking Dante is or isn't, and you'll find the pictures. It's absurd. Because
I'm surprised that this didn't come back with the whole Bowsette thing, where it's Bowser isn't this. It is big boobed girl.
God, man, I wish that had become a meme. Not just the is and isn't thing. I love that. Just because it's fucking out of this world. It's why? What? Well, even if Dante was gay, because this is part of his whole pitch. He's no, fucking the way he dresses is gay, and fucking cool kids don't dress that way, and fucking he doesn't smoke, but fucking because he's a pansy.
Oh my god! In this fucking day and age right now, with the whole Me Too thing, I think you would just get your ass kicked. For, he's not gay and he smokes cigarettes. It's whoa, cigarettes.
I don't know, man. I'm a manly dude. I like getting me some chicks or chasing after them at least, but it's but fucking, I love Dante. He's just this big, flamboyant, jerk ass who's just having fun killing demons. I'm that's fine for a character, It's fucking, you painted me a picture with this crazy, goofy character. I'm fine with that, He doesn't have to appeal to real world sensibilities.
No, exactly. I'm pretty sure there aren't guys out there swinging swords and guns at the same time.
I don't know, man. I've seen some YouTube videos.
Okay. Oh, well, yeah. Those water bottles didn't stand a chance.
Hell no, dude. That kid got perfect form. Dude.
Oh, man. So, yeah, like you said, welcome back to the Scumbag and Friend show. It's Tim, as always, with my buddy Max.
Hey.
So, correction from last week's show. Women's suffrage actually started in the 1920s.
1920s. Man, that's a long time for women to keep crying about it. Jesus.
So, all right, real quick. So things that happened this week. Did you see Bill Cosby's in jail now?
Yeah, I saw. He got 3 years?
3 years minimum, up to 10.
Jeez.
But he's 80-something years old. Some people are saying that it's not enough, but he's going right into general pop. He's not going into. He's going into a federal general prison, so not like state issued or any of that shit.
Well, yeah. Well,
so like because like the two things I wanted to talk about before we get into like a lot of the other shit was like Bill Cosby and then Brett Kavanaugh. So
oh fuck. I mean, I avoided all of Kavanaugh, but let's talk about Cosby.
So he went from Dr. Huxtable to Mr. Fuxtable, like in prison.
God, I don't know, man. I feel like I think he'll be fine. I don't like this whole situation is ridiculous. Not ridiculous. No, like him drugging women and raping them.
That's pretty bad.
That's really fucking bad. And I'm just like, you know what? Like all these like hashtag Me Too's, like they'll come out and be like the real ones, like fucking the women that were actually raped by like movie stars or like they were sexually assaulted. I'm like, they're using abuse of power. I'm like, Bill Cosby was a big fucking name. Yeah. He shouldn't have had to drug women, you know?
No.
I'm like, that's a step beyond. That's his own little fantasy.
Generally, if like you thought that was the right move, it's because your sexual proclivities were like
bad.
So fucking absurd that, I couldn't explain to you that this is what I like.
Yeah, no.
You know?
But no, I'm like...
I need you to wear the horse costume, and I will be the ass.
Yeah,
and
right?
You'll be the head.
Jesus. It's like... Because my thoughts go darker, you know. It like, okay, it's abuse of power when the musician takes up the 16-year-old girl on her offer, you know. It's like, yeah, that's wrong, you know. You shouldn't do that. That's abuse of power. But it's like, if the musician takes her backstage and drugs her, you know, it's just like he's doing something bad. He's doing something that's gonna ruin his life,
absolutely.
You know. And I'm like, he's choosing an option that will ruin his life to hide something that's going to ruin his life. So I only wonder what the hell fucking Bill Cosby was in, because like he's a comedian and comedians are not happy people. Like even though he was definitely on the lighter side of comedians as far as they go, he's real clean, especially in everything I've seen of Bill Cosby's like stand up. He's a very clean cut guy, you know?
Yeah. Like he presented himself that way very much, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Like he was America's father. That was his thing.
Yeah.
Like he was America's father, but then he was also the bastard that brought us New Coke. And
God,
he was
that's
like,
true.
He was like, "Oh, this tastes so much better."
That should have been the warning sign to everyone. Once they picked up a New Coke and tried it, they should have been like, "This man is fucking evil."
Attention Pepsi drinkers, introducing the new taste of Coca-Cola, the best Coca-Cola ever. That's all I'm going to say. In fact, that's all I have to say. No more words.
He's clearly raping people.
Oh man. I've like, so from what I was told is that he liked drugging them and then giving himself like a weird HJ with them passed out.
The fucking he gives himself the stranger with a stranger.
Yeah, and it's just like I not to belittle the situation, but it's like, why didn't you just go all the way?
maybe that's it. Maybe he really is that clean cut.
He's so clean cut that
he is so clean cut that he needs to drug them to hide the shame of asking for a hand job.
Oh,
you know?
Man,
he can't face himself in the mirror if he knows someone knows what's going on.
That is
weird.
I do agree with you with the whole like he's a comedian and he isn't as nice as he appears.
Yeah, no.
Because that's the whole like from what I've heard, like things like Letterman and Ellen DeGeneres and Rosie O'Donnell and a lot of these fucking people, they are not as nice as they appear.
Oh yeah.
Like with David Letterman and Johnny Carson also, it was like when they were at the peak of their power. And Letterman plowed an intern and nobody went after him.
Jesus, right?
Yeah, he was plowing interns and nobody was going after
crazy.
Letterman. But the idea is that like Letterman and Carson at the height of their power and Ellen DeGeneres like right now also.
Yeah.
If you like from what I've heard from some of the like showrunners is that if you present something to them the wrong way, you could get fired the next day.
Oh yeah. Well, I'm like, so people like this circles like it's a form of narcissism. Like, I mean, I'm no fucking psychotherapist, so I can't just announce they're narcissists or anything. But it's like it's a form of this psychosis that gives these people this drive, but it also puts them on. They put themselves on this huge fucking pedestal, you know. So it's like how people are always condemning Trump for what he says and how he speaks, and it's very grandiose, you know. He's very above everything else, fucking in his speech and mannerisms, and like as a president. You know, he's able to bring that into, you know, I'm leading America, and he brings us with him, so that works for him. But it's like that the stories about Trump from, you know, him running the reality show and him running his business was, you know, you put up or shut up or you get the hell out of his office.
Yeah, and
you know, that the whole, like, they made a whole reality show based off that concept of him being, you're fired. Yeah. And I'm like, yeah, he got there being this cutthroat asshole, you know, however you want to frame it, but I'm like, successful people are this way.
Yeah,
you know?
like they tried to reboot that show when he got elected into office with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
That's right.
And it was, you're terminated.
You're terminated.
I'm like,
get to the chopper.
They had to cash in on that.
Oh man. I never watched that. I should have watched the Arnold version.
Yeah, I haven't had cable in over a decade.
Right?
Like, and I'm not trying to make it sound like I'm some fucking pompous like hipster.
Yeah. No, I'm poor, man. Come on. But it's like I don't have the extra expenses.
I know. I don't want to spend money on cable.
I got two things that I can spend in my life, and that's money and time, and I ain't got either of those for cable.
Yeah,
Sorry.
exactly. Sorry,
you know?
man. And now Amazon's offering me I can watch football games on Amazon streaming service.
Okay, I'll do that. Fuck.
I don't even have to own cable to watch football now.
Yeah, right? Fuck. I'm already on Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Might as well. It's a good deal.
Yeah, so I'm watching fucking football on Amazon Prime.
I like fucking the most TV I get is coming into my fucking break room. And luckily for me, it's usually football, you know?
Oh, thank
So
goodness.
there's that.
But, like, I can only imagine what it is on the off season. Is it like fucking Judge Judy or some sort of daytime TV
it's
or
daytime.
HGTV?
No, it's
is it white people remodeling houses?
that's some of that too. It's whoever the hell picks up the remote, you know. But usually it's like fucking TBS with fucking the Family Guy reruns or American Dad reruns and shit. But but anyway, back to fucking Cosby. Fucking, I mean, he did it, you know.
So like
justice served. I guess
my thoughts were, you have maybe 3 or 4 good summers left on this planet. Like, why didn't you just try to evade the law? Like, I mean, really, like, you had as much money as God,
right?
And you know what I mean? Like, that's the whole saying, is that he had more money than God. And I'm not trying to condone his actions or anything. It's just like, well, I try to think, if I was in his position now.
You're saying to evade the law. Like, that doesn't condone anything, but it's like, yeah, why didn't you run? You know?
Yeah, why not just run? I mean,
but it's not like don't do it now. Don't do it like 2 months ago. Do it when it first surfaced.
Oh yeah.
Once the truth came out and people were talking, it's like that's when you pack your shit up and your wife looks at you and says, "Honey, what are you doing?" "I'm just gonna take a quick trip." "Did you see what's in the paper?" No, not yet. I'll catch up on it on the plane.
Yeah,
you know?
It's like, hey, Snowden, how you doing? Like, right? Can I bunk with you?
Yeah, fucking Christ.
I'm America's dad. Remember all those pudding pops you ate when you were a kid?
Yeah,
well, now it's time. Now it's time for me to like call in that favor.
Right. Christ, all that joy I brought you. Bring me some joy.
Yeah. So don't fuck me now. All right, Snowden.
Christ.
So and I can't imagine, like, if the government's not spending extra resources to go after Snowden, I don't expect them to spend any resources to actually punish Cosby if he ran.
Oh yeah, if he ran, it's okay. Yep.
And I mean, like,
he evaded arrest.
He would go down in history with like Roman Polanski and all these other like infamous names that people like OJ for a while. OJ didn't run or anything, but like he still has a stigma that he carries around with him everywhere he goes.
Fucking, I don't like. Some people will argue that, oh man, you know, fucking or people are just inherently evil, and I'm like, no, people are inherently good. We always go back to what's proper in the situation because we're societal creatures, and so if society says that we should, you know, turn ourselves into the law, then we do it. So it shows that it shows he's not a psychopath. It shows he's not mentally ill to that degree. Like, he had this weird fetish that he couldn't get done any other way. I mean, that's all it is, and it's not even that bad.
Yeah, but
it's bad because it's like, come on, you could as a famous guy, you could totally get a chick drunk and be like, "Hey, baby, you know, let's go back to my place. You know, fucking, I want you to give me an HJ. Let's just have a few drinks first, though. You know, just get her really drunk so she'll pass out, and then take that HJ.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. And like, I respect that he's so vanilla that that's what he likes.
Yeah, but it's like. Okay, so it wasn't that bad.
It's still pretty bad.
It's still pretty bad.
It's not that bad. It could be a lot worse.
It's something you can live with.
Yeah.
It's, let me wash off my hand. That was gross. He's kind of a douchebag. I would have sued him a long time ago.
Yeah,
I would have sued him a long ass time ago. And this is a civil this is a criminal offense, a criminal case. Like I would have taken to civil court. I don't want you behind bars. I want some of them pudding pop money.
Yeah, exactly. Some of that Kodak film money.
Fucking Christ, my hand needs to get washed off with some hundreds.
Yeah, exactly.
Fucking,
so
that's me. That's a guy's way of thought. I mean, I've never been drugged against my will and raped or
forced to give an HJ.
You know what?
If I was forced to give an HJ, I think being drugged on Quaaludes is the way I want to go.
I don't know, Tim. You used to party pretty hard, and I heard noises in the back room when you were passed out. So.
Yeah, me and Andrew WK used to get down.
Right.
Yeah, now he's like toned it down a lot. He's like, yeah, petting a dog is kind of like partying hard.
I don't know, dude, man. It kind of is.
It is.
I want to be a pupper.
Yeah, so you said you avoided the Kavanaugh trial?
Yeah, because I didn't catch it from the start, so I don't know what the basis of all this was, and then it's just then it became a huge circus, and I'm just like, well, I'm just gonna steer clear of the train wreck,
Yeah.
So fill me in on the just broad overview.
The broad overview.
Yeah.
Okay, so there was the woman. As soon as Kavanaugh got the nod to go to Supreme Court justice, that's when a lot of these things started surfacing. But apparently, this woman, Christine Blasey Ford, was she had filed a charge already against him.
Oh, okay.
When he was just a senator or something like that, or judge or whatever in whatever state
he's from. Yeah,
I think
from mine.
I think it's from fucking Vermont or something like that.
Yeah,
because that's where this thing happened. She said that she was assaulted by him back in high school.
My God.
Yeah, and she's told her therapist back in 2012, but like.
I could tell my therapist anything, but no, continue.
The allegation is that they were like in high school, like 15 to 17 years old.
Jesus Christ. Yeah.
She can't remember the house that it was in.
Okay.
She said that he held her down and like put his hand over her mouth so she wouldn't scream and blah blah blah, and forced himself upon her, but she said there was like 4 or 5 other people there, and all these other people there are not corroborating with her story. So like in normal circumstances, what attorneys would do is they would call this like a reject, like a district attorney reject. Like there's not enough evidence nor corroborating story to
like there's nothing here.
Proceed. Like if it's not because there's some sort of celebrity stature on this, like all of a sudden we want to proceed on this, but if this guy was Joe Schmo, the plumber,
if I ran out the house right now screaming, "Oh God, Tim sexually assaulted me," no one gives a shit.
Yeah, and there's not enough evidence.
There's no evidence. I mean, there's no evidence of the assault other than the tapes, but for
but
us. But for Kavanaugh, she didn't even get those.
Yeah.
So it's
so basically, like I don't disagree that like if Homeboy is a piece of crap, then he needs to be punished kind of deal. But the idea is
well, let's punish him to the extent of high school, fucking call his parents and fucking have them give him a stern lecture. Cause I'm like,
and a spanking.
If he didn't rape her, then it's like, okay, yeah, that's a terrifying moment to be fucking overpowered by someone. But then it's like, but you're not hurt, right?
Yeah.
All right.
You're not dead.
And you've had what, 30, 40 years? 40 years to walk this off?
And like, because no matter what I say here is going to be perceived as bad optics, but I also agreed with you when you said it a long time ago. It's like, well, can't a man change from who he was? And are we trying to punish the man he is now, or are we trying to punish the person that he might have been back then? And then this is when it boils down to the very bare minimum of it. It's a he said, she said.
Oh, yeah.
So
to share a story, there was a time I got drunk and I was over at some chick's place and I didn't leave.
Did you force her to give you an HJ?
I didn't force her to give me an HJ, but I did lay in her bed and I did grab a titty. And, now I'm like...
Hashtag you too.
Yeah, that was like, man, well, I was fucked. Like, that was stupid, but it's just like, I was also drunk and she was also drunk, and it's like, do we just write that off as being stupid drunk? It's like, but no, like there's an idea that fucking I feel guilty about that. How do you know that fucking this guy who did that, I'm sure he fucking had some nights, especially considering he's going to be a judge. There's a point where you're looking at your past and you're thinking about how lawful was my past, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, well, fuck. And then I'm sure he came to the same decision where I was like, you know what? I haven't heard anything about it. I'm going to let it slide and let bygones be bygones, and I hope she forgives me.
Yeah,
you know?
and again, it's like, can we punish the person he is now for who he was then? It's
Right.
like, because basically you're talking out of both sides of your mouth. Either you're saying that a person can't rehabilitate or a person can, you know?
Yeah.
Like, so basically if they can't rehabilitate, then it's, oh, well, then just put all these dudes in prison to death, because apparently once a broken dog is broken, just put them down.
That's it. To be fair, like, I fucking, once you hit a certain severity point on the crime scale, you know, that's how I feel about it.
Yeah,
Capital punishment for, okay, you pull a gun on someone, then, well, you better really make that decision.
Well, yeah, if we're talking like fucking John Wayne Gacy or something, it's like, I don't think there's dialing that back.
Oh, for sure.
You kill children and then have sex with the dead bodies. Like, I don't think you can dial that back. I think you're pretty set in what you like.
Yeah.
So,
but then it's like, oh, Charles Manson, who didn't do the crime himself, he just pushed people to do the crime.
That's still it's still bad.
I mean, it's bad, but it's just like, to what extent does he get punished? Well,
yeah,
I mean,
basically, it's like,
that's the point where it's okay. This guy gets life, you know, fucking.
Oh well, because he would have gotten executed, but they changed. California just changed the whole fucking capital punishment thing like the year before he got arrested.
Of course.
So it was just fortunate timing for him.
But then, okay, so the guy Kavanaugh, he's a hyper overeager teen, and let me tell you, I knew a bunch of fucking dudes in high school that did the same kind of thing.
This is, again, we're going on the assumption that her story is credible.
Okay, yeah,
and
you know what? Look at that. See, I'm automatically saying yes. It's that fucking bias, you know?
Yeah, exactly.
Because I've experienced things like that, and I knew dudes that fucking did shit like that, and I'm just like, well, fucking, so it's like, okay, this must happen a lot, you know? But that's just, you know, bias experience. I would hope it doesn't happen as much as I think it does.
I certainly hope it doesn't happen as much as I think it does.
But you're also right. Like, so my first joke on the comment would be, oh, the Democrats fucking paid someone off to say some bullshit about the past that no one can, you know,
verify.
No one can verify. Oh, we're dragging his name through the mud. I'm like, that's the first joke I want to make. But I'm like, really, like, it doesn't have to be a political thing, but she could just hate the guy, you know?
Yeah.
Maybe she did know him in high school. I'm like, you can prove that if they knew each other in high school.
Yeah,
at the
like
very
a
least.
yearbook alone will kind of corroborate that story.
So maybe she's some crazy jaded broad who just wants her name in the papers, because there are people that do stupid shit like that.
Yeah, that was the second accuser. So there's multiple accusers on this.
Boy.
So the second accuser was interviewed by Ronan Farrow at the New York Times, and this one, everybody was pulling their fucking hair out at. Like, this is some stupid bullshit right here.
Okay.
So this lady said that she was assaulted by Kavanaugh in college.
Okay.
And she's now just coming out about it, and she didn't go to the cops right away.
Yeah.
She went to her attorneys first.
Oh, of course she did.
Now she wants to charge Kavanaugh with that. And
Jesus
the idea
Christ.
is that you did this in so many wrong ways. Like, you went to the press and your attorney before calling the cops.
Yeah.
So the cops would reject that right away also, because they think that you might have doctored your story up.
Oh, for sure. Because you're seeking counsel first.
If you're unsure of who assaulted you, your attorney could
easily sway you.
As an attorney, you might want to push your client into going towards what's the highest paycheck.
Oh, God.
Do you know what I mean?
See,
so
I mean,
like, that's
See, I don't buy into the whole attorneys are scumbags thing. I really I hold attorneys in high esteem, especially ones that are, you know, defense attorneys. But it's like, when you look at something like this, it's like, okay, maybe they are scumbags. You know, maybe they are the lowest of the low. Because they could easily chase a good paycheck. If they can bullshit in court hard enough and they fucking charge Kavanaugh, they got their name in the papers. You know?
Exactly.
And that increases business.
And then there's one other one. Like, I'm not familiar with the one that fucking Stormy Daniels' attorney, Michael Avenatti.
Okay.
I don't know like who he brought to the show, but I don't know about that one so much.
Right.
But then there was a fourth one.
Oh, Jesus.
Who said that her daughter was raped by Kavanaugh at like some local bar. What? And apparently the bar was full, and the only corroborating witnesses are the daughter and her. And I'm just like, this feels like you watch too much TV.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like, I don't know where I would have to be like, I saw a rape happening, and it's like, I'll let it go.
Yeah, no. I mean,
it's like, I could do something about this, but I'm not done with my fucking my blue moon.
Well, what if he dragged her into the bathroom? Well, it's like, well, you're in a full bar, and a dude dragging anybody into a bathroom against their will, someone's going to take notice. The hillbilly at the back end of the bar who's half drunk is going to half remember that,
Yeah, well, what did he do? Did he pull her in like fucking caveman style by the hair? Or did he dragged her out of the fucking ocean like a big mouth bass?
That's
like
Kavanaugh.
He just dragged her into the bathroom?
Nah, he straight up got her in a German suplex and just took her into the bathroom that way,
Yeah,
fucking just slammed her into the door.
The one that was the most, not credible, but the most like... not revered, but the one that got the most attention was Christine Blasey Ford. She was the first one.
The first one. The one that's probably
also,
true.
Well, she's also like, I guess she's
Maybe.
a doctor or a psychologist or something like that, because she was talking about how the way the brain codes memory.
Oh, God, she's trying to be her own fucking special fucking witness.
Yeah, so it's just like, I don't want to live in a society where we can't believe the accused. I don't want to live in a society where
I want to live in a society. I want to
isn't-
live in a society where when the crime happens, fucking within a week, someone reports it,
Yeah.
Oh, well, I was afraid that the fucking high school kid was going to fucking come back to your house and do it again.
Yeah, I was going to say,
tell your parents, tell a fucking teacher. Here's a fucking, fucking, everyone's like, oh, me too, come out and speak your mind. Don't do it now, do it then.
Yeah,
like, if you want,
let's strike while the fucking iron's hot.
Yeah, because guess what? You can fucking you can fix these people, because hey, fucking Kavanaugh just held her down and he was fucking really rough and he's a fucking dumbass kid. All right, and it's not like the idea of fucking boys will be boys. It's the idea of, at this point, let bygones be bygones.
Yeah,
this has gone too far.
Now,
this man lived a life. You lived a life. He's apparently got over it and fucking moved on. You've gotten over it and moved on. You're a fucking doctor.
Yeah, I don't want to live, like you were saying, I don't want to live in a society where it's like we had to wait 30, 40 years to try to ruin somebody's life now.
Right.
But for me, it's I don't want to live in a society where it's you're guilty first just because of whatever preconceived notions of the crime.
Right.
That was the thing, because it's like
whatever
happened.
You explained the story to me, and I'm automatically thinking, oh, Kavanaugh did it just right off the bat. It's like, no, fucking guilt or innocent until proven guilty. Yeah, I'm fucking buying into this stupid Twitter mind shit.
Yeah, so it's like it's such a mob mentality, but I also love the meme that came out of it too, because it's like, oh great, now we live in a movie, because he at the end of it was like when they exonerated him and it was like, okay, you're free of all the charges.
Yeah,
he like raised his right hand and was like, I still love beer. And it's just,
I saw that
what
shit.
a dick move.
No, because it's I remember like some of the arguments were just like, I was drunk, fucking, we got to parties and we drank a lot and I love beer and blah blah blah. That's the only part of it I caught.
Yeah,
and I'm like,
he still loves beer.
And he still loves beer. I'm like, hey, whatever. There was a fucking President Trump fucking tweeted out, fucking look at how he is, imagine if I drank, and I'm like, man.
Yeah,
so
everybody forgets Trump doesn't drink.
Yeah, so like, and I read up, like someone, I think the Times did like a small write up on that like tweet, and they explained how President Trump's older brother, I believe Randy he died at 43, but he was a heavy alcoholic, and when he was trying to recover, he told Donald Trump, don't drink, follow my example, don't drink, and I'm like, that's it's terrible to have any kind of affliction like that in your family, but it's good that man, of all people, that Donald Trump learned that lesson from someone else.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah, and I'm like, and he held his brother in high regard, because his brother was far older than him at the time, but he was successful, but he had this crazy alcoholism that drove him to the grave. And I'm like, well, I'm glad he learned that lesson, because imagine if Trump drank.
Oh my God.
Jesus.
So I like following politics just as much as following everything else.
Oh yeah,
this one was interesting to say the least, and this was a high level one, because it's the whole like Me Too movement versus like
it's
I knew so many people, like especially some of my coworkers, that are like, oh my God, he's so fucking guilty, and I'm like, why are we condemning somebody right away just because of like the flavor of the story? Because
right.
I can't fucking imagine like if it's spun a certain way, I don't want to be condemned next.
Like,
and this is the whole like Henry Cavill, fucking Superman, saying like, I'm afraid of working with certain people because I don't want to be accused of anything. And then yeah. And then this was the whole like Mike Pence thing where it was like Mike Pence doesn't eat dinner with women unless his wife is there. Yeah, and that used to be like, oh, that's a quaint idea, but now it's like,
well, I remember
that's brilliant.
I remember when that came out, people were like, oh, he must be sexist or something, and he's like, no, people were accusing him of being sexist, and he came out and said that I don't eat dinner with women unless my wife is there, and then they're like, that's weird. And I'm like, you know what? In this day and age, that's fucking smart as fuck.
Yeah.
You know?
And like, guys can just be on the straight and narrow. Not every guy is a predator.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And one of the fucking things that is driving me up the fucking wall right now is the thing that was trending on Twitter like a day or two ago was the whole, what if all men had a 9 p.m. curfew? Like,
wow.
So like every guy had to go back to jail at 9 p.m.
Oh, right.
So
fucking Christ.
So, and then all these women were like, my God, I would go out and I would dance and I would run in the streets and not have to worry about anything.
I don't know what they're fucking talking about. Because if I had a 9 p.m. curfew, I'd just drag the bitches back to my place, you know?
Yeah.
I mean,
the hoe train goes back to my house.
I know, right? Fucking shit. They think they're gonna stop sucking my dick because I got a curfew? Nah. They ain't got no curfew. They can go home when they're finished.
I love how the women's idea of a utopia is a society without dudes. It's Amazon.
It's not even
Amazonian.
That. No, it's not even that. No, they want to keep us here, but they want to just make us slaves. You know?
Yeah.
It's fine as long as I don't fucking know, man. That. It's very anti my sex, and like for us, you know what the whole thing behind us jumping on Kavanaugh just off the bat is because the fucking lizard part of our brain that says protect women. You know?
Exactly.
And it's like
that was my first thought too, because it's like I'm not gonna sit by just like the fucking guy at the Starbucks from last week where he like was wearing his Hero Academia shirt and he had to like step in front of the dude with the machete. Yeah. I'm like, I don't think I would step in front of him. I think I would go for the tackle first.
Oh yeah, for sure. No.
But
no. Hey man, like I always think it's just like, okay, like fucking you took jiu-jitsu, I was in the military, and it's like there's fucking the guys that fucking in Texas that have their guns. It's like their first response isn't active actual protection kind of thing, but it's like, okay, you have to put yourself in the mindset of a normal person whose only experience with any combat is he got punched by a kid in middle school, so it's like okay, his first reaction was to jump in front of a machete. Okay, fine, that's the best you got, buddy. You should have played some fucking football in school growing up.
Because one of the psychology books that I was reading was Jordan Peterson's book, and he was talking about minimum necessary force, right?
Yeah.
And like, what would I always think of it in those kinds of terms where it's like, what is the most effective way to get him to not have the machete in his hand without killing him? You know?
Yeah.
Like, we don't need to scale it all the way up to like, oh, shoot him first.
Yeah, right.
It's like, well, can we do something to not have to kill him first? Okay, then we should do that first.
I don't know, man.
But if it's quick response, it's like, all right, yeah, he's got to go down.
Again,
if it's Thunderdome, 2 men enter, 1 man leave, it's gonna be you, dude.
See, this is why I don't own a gun, and like I want to, but I don't want to at the same time, because my first response in situations where it's like, okay, something like that pops up, my first response is gonna be shoot them.
Yeah.
Some guy pulls a fucking machete out. I mean. The military training says give him a body shot, so that gives him a high chance of not dying from a handgun.
Yeah,
which is what I would have.
Yeah, this is my dilemma too, because it's like I am not a cowboy where it's shoot first, but I won't be afraid to do it if I have to.
Right. So. Yeah. See, you're more on the scale of the normal person.
Yeah.
I'm the extremist. You're the mid extreme, I guess, and then normal people are in the I'm gonna throw a poodle at them and maybe that'll stop them. I don't know, man. God. People, there's no fighting people. It feels like.
Oh no, hell no, not anymore. Oh
Jesus.
My God.
The only people that are fighting are on fucking words and on Twitter.
Oh yeah, because that's where everybody feels the most fucking
safe.
Big. Yeah, safe.
I'm a fucking. Throw my punches from behind this riot shield.
Yeah, this goes back to the whole like old saying of like sticks and stones kind of thing, and words can never hurt you. But
please.
The idea is
we're
that
too soft now.
Well, I was gonna say that because of the way the society is, and with Twitter and all that, like words are condemning.
Oh yeah.
So now Hillary is crooked Hillary forever. I mean, kind of deal, and that was a right attacking the left.
To be fair, she's fucking crooked.
No. But I'm just saying that
these are proven. But no, that's right. Like she's going to be that if not for just a long time, then forever. And I mean, she's old, so it's probably going to be in that she's going to not outlive it.
Yeah, you know? And this is the whole and this isn't just the mass hypnosis thing from Donald Trump, but if you get labeled something in the zeitgeist, that's it. That's you forever now.
Oh man, the moment Donald Trump actually fucks up, and that's it.
He's just condemned.
Yep.
So
fucking, it's like when they're dragging him through the mud, and they're like the comments he made on Howard Stern and all that shit that came up, and he's like, oh, it's just fucking bar jokes. It's guys talking to guys. And I'm like, I can believe that.
Yeah, and this is the whole why did Billy Bush get fired again? Because all he was doing was listening to what Trump was saying about how he grabs him by the pussy.
Grab him by the pussy.
And I'm like, I don't think anybody goes around doing that. And I'm like, what do? Do you just go around bowling ball gripping everyone you see?
That's it.
The idea is that I'm so fucking hot I can get any bitch.
Yeah,
is really what he was saying. But no, he just goes around with the old bowling ball double underhook. Like, all right, here we go.
I wonder what it looks like for fishing. Like, how many people go fishing now? Because that's what I keep thinking about when I hear that shit from Donald Trump, or when someone brings that up. It's like it's a fishing tale. Oh yeah, I caught a fish this big. It's like, no one fucking caught a fish that big, you dumbass. But I'll fucking sit here and smile and drink a beer with you because we're just telling stories.
I thought that was just a whole reason to slap your buddy in the face. It's like, I caught a fish this big.
Yeah, both of them on both sides.
It's on both. You just come around with a 360. You hit him with the right and then spin around.
Gotta
and
get
the
fucking
left.
the lariat. Fucking stand in the middle of the ring,
It was just a really big calamari ring.
Fucking Christ. I want to go to that restaurant.
All right.
Okay,
so
we're off track. Well, no, we're on track.
This is exactly how it is. Yeah.
Oh,
Let's move into some Do You Feel Old Yet? But welcome back to the politically charged, not Me Too, trigger warning.
I don't know.
Something.
Hashtag alt-right.
Hashtag alt-right.
Antifa and proud.
Yeah. Oh my God. And 4 dudes just got arrested not too long ago, and they're being charged with crimes or conspiracy of crimes for the Charlottesville thing.
Oh, good.
I'm like, that was last year, but okay. Yeah. I'm glad we got to it now.
Yeah.
And I guess it's hard to kind of pin that kind of shit down. But these dumbass fucking guys that showed up to that thing and they weren't wearing their hoods or any of that. And it's like, okay, first you're a dipshit for joining the Stone Masons or whatever the fuck this group is.
Right.
Okay, so first I hate the Klan and all that.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty stupid.
It is. It's fucking dumb.
I hate the optics around it, as if there's for however many people there are in the world, it's 1.5 Klansmen per person. So it's
Jesus.
There's 7 billion people, so that means there needs to be fucking 9.5 billion Klansmen. You know what I mean? They always make it seem like there's that many more racists than there is people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
But lastly, these fucking dumbasses in Charlottesville from last year or 2 years ago or whenever the fuck it was. I think it was last year.
Pretty sure
right?
it was last year. Yeah.
I fucking love it because they got fired from their jobs for showing up to this thing unmasked, and I'm just like,
wow.
If you're gonna be part of probably the world's most hated group.
Yep.
And I mean, hey, do you? And I think you should be free to assemble and free to join whatever fucking group you want.
Yep. Scream to the top of your lungs.
I also think you're free to accept the consequences for doing such actions.
Oh yeah.
So, if it politically killed you, or you can't join the army now because of it, that's not anyone's fault other than yours.
Was it a governor or something that was outed as a furry, and he had to step down from office because he's a furry? It's like, I mean, you showed up in pictures without your fursuit on, dude.
Yeah. Oh man.
You got what you got.
Yeah. Oh, wasn't he on 4chan for a little bit with everybody was showing his browser history, what he jerks off to,
probably.
And it's probably furries.
I mean, whatever.
So,
but it's like you put, if you're willing to take your mask off, and it's, you know what? That's like a sexuality shaming thing. I can't, I don't like furries because they're fucking weird and smelly people most of the time. It's like, So it's like not all weird and smelly people are furries, but all furries are weird and smelly people. It's
yeah,
that kind of thing.
Yeah, I gotcha.
But it's like, okay, that's one thing, and you can go sit in your corner and, you know, jerk off to whatever porn you want. And for the Klansmen, you know what? I'm gonna say the same thing. You can go sit in your corner and yell about black people all you want. You know what? But once you start, you know, making a scene out of things, once you join your furry pride parade, then it's like, well, if you take your mask off and someone doesn't agree with you, then we have a problem, you know?
Yeah, it's so polarizing, and everybody wants to live in this. Everybody wants to live in this like sort of a society where it's like it's either on or it's off.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like, oh, it's fucking. We can. What the fuck do I want to say? Hold on. We want to judge people. Yeah. But we don't want to judge people, right? Because like that's the whole that's the whole message is like that's what
I was coming to terms with in my mind when I was talking about it. I'm just like, okay, do I judge the furry? Do I judge the Klansmen? They're doing the same shit. They're fucking just speaking their mind about the thing that they're real passionate about. Like, is there one is wrong and one is not? Well, like the furry says, hey, free love, you know, I want to yiff with other people wearing fursuits. If he leaves it at that point, fine. You know, once you start going into bestiality, not fine. Okay. The Klansman, if he wants to assemble and shout at the steps that, you know, blacks out of my kitchen or whatever, then you know what? That's fine. If he goes and he grabs a black guy and he starts throwing him out of his room, that's not fine.
Not fine. You know? Yeah, exactly.
There's the line you have to draw.
Yeah. So for basic concept, I think it's fair to say that your freedoms end when it starts infringing on other people. And that's what we were taught in school, I thought.
That's the way it always was, you know? Now, fucking, it's words. It's if you're within someone's eyesight even, you know?
Yeah, and again, this is such bullshit because it's like, okay, yeah, you may be offended by fucking people, like, saying whatever. You don't have to fucking listen to them. You can always change the channel. You can always leave the room.
I just realized the society, or fucking at least the Twitterverse, the fucking vocal society is turning itself into the Klan.
Yeah.
You know, that's all it fucking really is. Cause it's like, well, I want this out because I hate it. Cause I disagree with it. I'm like, well, that's what the Klan's been doing for years. Congratulations. You are what you hate. You are what you hate. You know,
so,
fucking the Klan.
Man.
The Klan was right.
So welcome back to the Krusty Krab Klan podcast.
Something like that.
Some shit. Fucking, I don't know what the KK stands for. I know the last one is Klan.
Oh, it's Ku Klux Klan.
Oh, Ku Klux Klan. Okay.
I love that one.
Oh, well, man.
Actually, I like the Postman one better.
Fucking. I don't know. Uncle Ant had some funny moments.
There you go.
All right, so let's go into some. Do you feel old yet?
Not yet.
You're old.
Okay, so as always, do you feel old yet? We kind of just like reflect on
the past, on the good things in life.
Yeah, so from
nostalgia,
historic TV, movie, and video games, especially.
And for the young people, we're trying to give you shit to look back on and be like, hey, those old guys, they were all right.
Yeah,
we don't hate all of them.
Well, this first one is something. September 26, 1982, Knight Rider premieres.
Holy shit, that is fucking older than that's older than us.
That is older than us, but like you couldn't escape Knight Rider.
Fuck no. That was a fucking
You want to talk about launching Hasselhoff's career?
Oh yeah.
There you go, man.
There you go. And it went on to Baywatch. Man, that dude had hit after hit, and then it stopped.
Well, he had an album too, because he sang that thing on Kung Fury.
He's good in that too.
He is good.
He is good. He is not bad. The Germans love him for a reason.
I like Hasselhoff a lot because he plays to his strengths. Yeah. And I fucking love a guy that like is very honest with himself and is like, this is what I am, this is what I am. I'm the epitome of alpha male, chest hair, and I can sing like a canary.
Yep.
I'm like, what's the bird that sings?
One of them is the Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays, yeah. So this one was like, I don't think this was the first one because there was like Cannonball Run and things like that had like cars that did weird shit, and then Wacky Racers also. But this was like the first syndicated TV show where it was like, all right, well, I got the talking car that's also got like a sassy persona, and I'm gonna throw the oil slicks and the caltrops out.
It was a shot at the the 80s had this whole crime drama / buddy cop thing going for it.
Oh yeah, like that's Miami Vice.
Yeah, Miami Vice. Like, so like shows like that were like, okay, he's the fucking it's Lethal Weapon, you know.
Yeah.
Here's the good straight edge cop, and here's the crazy fucking off the wall cop, you know, and they're a team. And then they're like, well, what if this cop had a dog for a partner?
Turner and Hooch?
Hell yeah. What if this cop had a CG dinosaur for a partner?
I don't know that one.
That was Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh,
she
man.
fucking was a cop with a dinosaur for a partner.
This one was what if a cop had a talking car?
Had a talking car, and he was pretty much Batman.
Yeah.
You know? It's fucking like Knight Rider and yeah, Turner and Hooch. Like it was an interesting time. It was fun to watch TV chase its own tail with trends.
Yeah.
And then and then they had big hits like Knight Rider. Like I don't know what Hasselhoff is good. He's got charisma, you know. So maybe that was what pulled people in. Maybe people just like the idea of a really cool car doing cool stuff.
Yeah, and I mean, I think that we're not too far away from that again, where it's a lot of the TV and a lot of the movies that are being permeated. A lot of the ones that like a lot of people are watching are due to the fact that it's we're in going back to the whole society thing with the whole Twitterverse.
Yeah.
A lot of the shows that people like to watch star dudes that are strong, empowered, and they're taking things down. Fucking people like watching Handmaid's Tale, and it's supposed to be about like the enslavement of women and shit.
Jesus.
And it's just like, see, you guys enjoy watching these things, and it's because you're taking these things out of society.
Yeah.
So, like, I don't know if that's what happened back in the 80s because we weren't really alive for it, but, like, there is a reason for UFC being so fucking highly watched now because a lot of dudes are softer than fucking cream cheese, and they're watching dudes actually kick each other's ass.
That's a hero. Yeah.
Because there's still a warrior mentality in a lot of guys that needs to be fucking addressed.
Yep.
So
that's cool.
Let's move right along. So September 27th, 1996. For PC, Road Rash. Did you ever play the Road Rash series?
I played Road Rash, but I played it on fucking...
I played it on Sega Channel.
I want to fucking... I don't know if it was a Sega. I want to say it was like one of those off-brand, like, Megavision kind of things.
Okay.
Like one of those fucking weird ones that tried to compete between Genesis and fucking Nintendo. And, like, but no, I played it, and it's fucking... You're on a motorcycle, and you're driving down the road, like, the old... fucking like Cruising USA and shit. And it's just like, okay, well, let me drive down. Oh, but let me also have a chain and whip the other dude next to me.
That was my favorite part, was like the chariot style fucking like
I'm like, it's Mad Max, but it's all motorcycles, and you're just trying to crash the other dude to win the race. I'm like,
I remember when you could pick up different weapons, right? I think so.
I only remember the chain and the kick.
Yeah, I only did mono kick.
Yeah.
I was just all kicks.
Fuck. But it's like, it was fun. It was a good twist on the idea, and it led the way to fucking Mario Kart.
Yeah, that's true.
Because it's the same shit. It's like, oh, well, let me go down the road. Let me pick up the weapon. Let me hit fucking Bowser off the track with the red shell.
I don't think, like, Mario Kart had a lot more playability than this because I think, like, the tracks were pretty much all the same.
Yeah, well, I mean, that was the classic racing games anyway. Just like Cruising USA. It's like, oh, you got to make a short right turn, and you got to make a left turn, and you got to, like... But it's always going forward. It's just a big scrolling screen.
Yeah.
It's good. It's classic.
It's classic. I don't know if this is worth a revisit.
I don't know if
anybody.
It's not Tetris classic, but if you want to go back to like the roots of like racing games, and yeah, like I said, Mario Kart, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, it evolved from that. Like this is the first time they're like, let's add combat to driving. Simple, and it gets your blood going, you know.
Yeah, I remember playing it, and it was the whole like bit processor thing. Like this was the whole Sonic the Hedgehog thing, where it's like everything's just like blasting at you.
Oh yeah.
And I don't remember this game being that great though. That's my only problem.
I had fun with it. This was still from the time where arcade games, you know.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, you got two options with arcade games. You make them real hard to beat so it eats quarters, or you make them really long so that people just have to, you know, fucking 2 hours in and I gotta go. Well, you got your money's worth, you know.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so let's go right into the next one here. So September 29th, 2006, Kingdom Hearts 2 gets an international release. So did you play any of the Kingdom Hearts series?
I watched someone play it, and as soon as I saw the Disney shit, I'm like, I'm out.
Yeah, really? Like, I know a lot of people like this. I only bring this up because Kingdom Hearts 3 is coming out soon.
So I'm going
Which is so fucking ridiculous because there's been like, apparently from my girlfriend likes this whole series, right?
Yeah.
And apparently all of them, like the ones on PlayStation, PS2, the Game Boy ones, the DS ones, all of them are connected somehow.
Yup. Every like it has the most offshoots for like a big RPG series. It's got like 3 or 4 fucking PSP games. I think like 2 or 3 fucking 3DS games. I think a few games on the Vita. There's a phone game. I know that for it.
Like, and these are all in the canon.
And these
story?
are all in the canon story. Like all of, because like so people were freaking out because that character's got yellow eyes, and that's a thing from one of the 3DS games, I think. And then fucking characters are showing up from all those handhelds and whatnot, and it's just like, well, I guess if you don't know who these people are, you have to go back and play everything.
Yeah, exactly.
But
oh man,
so I watch a YouTuber called Mr. Clemps, and he does these real in-depth reviews of video games and stuff. He did Nier stuff, which is what got him big, because Nier has really crazy storylines. But he started doing
like the one where you eat the fish and then you die from eating fish.
Yep. I mean, hey man, you're a robot. You shouldn't eat fish.
Okay.
You shouldn't eat anything because you're a robot. You should take in oil, right? Come
well,
on,
there's fish oil. Like the guy at the fucking health food store tries to sell it to me all the time.
It's like, yeah, Tim, you need iron, so why don't you just go chew on some rebar?
Yeah. Well, that's why I go to the gym all the time.
Oh yeah, just gnawing on the fucking weights. But no, so fucking Mr. Clemps, he does in-depth reviews, and he did one on I think the original Kingdom Hearts and Kingdom Hearts 2, and then he's working on the side stories too. But I started watching those, and I'm like, okay, the stories are actually pretty cool because the stories are written by Square, because it's a tie-in between Square Enix and Disney. But,
yeah, and I mean, like the Disney part, I feel like was meant to sell the kids, but I feel like the story is very good still.
But yeah, no. So watching the video reviews, I'm like, okay, these are really cool RPGs. I like the themes that they're showing me, and the only thing that turned me off was, it's fucking Goofy and Donald, and I don't want to deal with that right now. I saw someone playing the Tarzan level where you're riding the vines down, and I'm like, this is dumb, But I'm looking at it, and I'm like, okay, it's cool, and it's got like pseudo action combat where it's like I press attack, but then I just keep pressing attack and I start doing combos. I'm like, okay, fuck, this actually looks pretty cool. It's real inventive for a combat system. You got them doing aerial flips and whatnot. So I'm like, maybe I missed the bus,
That's funny that you bring that up, because I feel like the combat system was what turned me off from it the most.
Yeah,
because I was coming off of like this whole hype of like all the classic Final Fantasies, and I was expecting something that wasn't like a real-time battle.
Right.
I was expecting more of a turn-based, like, okay, I don't care if it's Goofy and Donald, like, okay, so all right, Gooby, I need you to do an attack, and then Doland, I need you to like throw magic or some shit.
Give me a buff.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was
I was like, oh, okay, so I'm only controlling this guy the entire time.
Right. Like, well, I mean, like, because you can hot swap between characters, but then it's like, well, I want to build my main character a certain way, and then I can just build the other two to be like automatic kind of things.
Yeah.
So,
because from what I watched other people do, it was like they would just have fucking Gooby roll around with the fucking shield out and just like shield slam people. I'm like, all right, I guess that's a thing.
Right. But it's like, no, it's like, so like looking back, okay, yeah, fucking, do I feel old yet? Maybe, because I'm getting fuzzy memories of fucking trying to figure out why I didn't want to play Kingdom Hearts. But it's like, man, maybe I missed the train.
Yeah, I don't know if it's worth the revisit.
Maybe 3 is worth getting into, though.
Yeah, so I don't know if it's worth the revisit. And it's like, I was debating a PS4 for a long time, if only for Spider-Man.
Oh, yeah.
If only for Spooderman.
Yeah.
Because I've heard that game is fucking awesome.
Looks great.
Yeah.
But yeah.
All right, so let's move right along. Okay, I would be remiss if we didn't bring this up. September 30th, 1985, so before we were both born, Howard Stern gets fired from WNBC.
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 You gotta say WNBC.
WNBC. WNBC.
Yeah, so apparently there was some sort of editorial error, and it caused him to get fired, is what I was reading. But I would be remiss if we didn't mention at least pretty much the granddaddy of like shock radio and
shock radio, talk radio. Like before him, it was, here's the news today in Pennsylvania, blah blah blah.
Oh yeah, blah, yeah. Because he was the exact opposite of Walter Cronkite.
Yeah. So
it was the way he presented everything, and then the best example I've heard was always what Adam Carolla would say, where it's like, when he was in syndicated radio, it was always like, roll the calls.
Yep.
We got to get through as many fucking calls as we can get through. And Howard Stern would used to take on calls and talk to that same person for 20, 30 minutes.
Yeah.
So
fucking
yeah,
growing up, fucking before I went to school, Howard Stern was on the radio, and I fucking loved it.
Yeah, he was. I didn't know he was so fucking funny.
Oh,
you know,
yeah?
He's pretty funny. I thought it was always like it was just Stern, and then like it was everybody around him that kind of like made him funnier.
No,
But
he's a funny dude.
He's a funny fucking dude, and
like,
I got to tell you, I like that. That's who he is.
I loved how he would always do like visual bits on radio. So he's like everyone's like, oh, he always has the chicks get undressed and stuff. I'm like, yeah. Well, think about that. He's on a radio show telling some chick to shake her tits. Oh yeah, honey, I give those 2 thumbs up. Look at them tits jiggle. What are we looking at? We're on the fucking radio, you know. And he's doing this for people like he's originated or not. Like, I'm sure someone did it by mistake on the radio before him, but like he's going out of his way to do these fucking visual bits on the radio, and like he's describing it like crappily for the audience. He's asking these crazy questions to these celebrities that are coming in. Okay, fucking whoever on the couch, fucking Robert Downey Jr. So how many fucking times you get head today, you know? And it's just like, who asks these things of, you know, a star, you know? Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, he was great.
He definitely broke the mold, and that's why it's like you have to like pay homage to the people that fucking came before you and stuff like this. It's like, this is a big deal that Howard Stern even existed.
Oh yeah,
and now he's on Sirius.
I was gonna say he's still there on the airwaves, but he's on satellite radio only. But if you catch like, because I caught randomly like YouTube clips of his satellite radio stuff, and I'm like, he's still great. Yeah. He's still funny.
Yeah, fucking Artie Lang came from Howard Stern.
Oh, yeah.
Fucking Baba Booey. Like, that Beetlejuice guy came from there.
That good dude, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm like, oh, he's like some weird dwarf black dude that's ugly as sin.
Ugly as sin, but he was around. But, like, once Howard went to satellite radio, like I'm sure, like, because he left, like, either like right before or when I joined the military, and I'm like, man, I should get satellite radio. You know?
Yeah.
Because that was honestly thinking that. I'm just like, I could just get like a fucking thing, the receiver in my room, since I didn't have a car in the Army. And I'm just like, fucking, it was really a big thought in my head, because I loved him that much, because he's just that entertaining. You know?
Like, well, this is the whole reason why, like, I was listening to Stern. And then when Stern left, Adam Carolla came on. Yeah. And that's where I stopped, was like, oh, I'm going to stick with Carolla. And I was not disappointed, because like I like a lot of the stuff he says there too, because he's one of my biggest inspirations.
Oh yeah, fucking.
And Howard Stern inspired Carolla, so it's just like, okay, you know.
Like, as far as like world viewpoints, like it's just a straight transition. Like Stern to Carolla, they're the same.
Yeah,
you know?
and the bits were different, obviously, but like.
Because Stern is more willing to just throw himself under the bus, throw people under the bus.
Oh, absolutely. He you were saying, fucking getting the chicks naked on the radio, and it's like, why are you guys getting boners if you can't see it? You're just listening to some Jew with a weird hair tell you like, oh, these tits look nice.
Yeah, you know.
But like, okay,
but it's like everything around him. He's fucking charismatic. He can run a show.
Yeah, and I mean, like, people want to hear him talk about these kinds of things, and it's very compelling, and it's very interesting that like your mind is painting a picture of what he's seeing. Yeah, you know.
But go watch his fucking movie, his own personal movie, his autobiographical movie, Private Parts. Yeah. And that's like, that came out in, I want to say like 95, 96, somewhere around there. But it's like, it's covering those early years, starting in WNBC until the point where he became huge. So it's like, it's that in between of showing the rise of a star. And it's done by him, so it like embellishes on him a bit. But it's also he's down to earth enough to throw the shade on himself. Yeah. So it's like, it's real cool to see.
So, okay. So, October 1st, 1986, again, before we were born, but like, you can't escape this movie, Night of the Living Dead. This is the remake. This is the color remake, not the black and white. The black and white was the 70s or 60s. 60s? I think it's the 60s. Honestly, I think it's the 60s.
Like late 60s, latest.
Yeah, because I remember people saying this was one of the scariest movies they've ever seen. And this was the color remake by George A. Romero. And I don't like this. I don't hold this one in as high regard. The original the one from the late 60s, the black and white, that's actually public domain, so you can watch that. Yeah, you can watch that shit on YouTube if you want.
Fuck. I'm going to, because like I'm in the same boat as you. Like the original just really sticks out in my mind when I think of Night of the Living Dead. I only think of the fucking black and white.
Yeah, but I would like, I mean, we are in October, so I'd be remiss if I didn't bring up spooky shit. It's
time for spooky shit.
So I like this was one of the first ones with like Tom Savini doing the special effects. Yeah, and this was kind of cool. Like the blood was ultra realistic. It was like, it was so red it was pink. Yeah,
it's like if you just want to look through a list on IMDb of Thomas Savini's stuff, he does really good work.
Yeah, so this is I did not like the remake as much, but it's funny because like the Dawn of the Dead remake, I actually, with Ving Rhames, I actually like that more than the original one.
Well, was the Night of the Living Dead, was that a shot-for-shot remake?
Yes. Yeah. It was a shot-for-shot remake, and everything beat by beat, line by line was the same. It was just in color with different actors. Yeah. Okay.
But and apparently better effects.
Yeah, the concept was the same though, because it's the whole like, they're coming to get you, Barbara. She runs away. She runs into the house. The house has black guy in it, and then two other people. And I don't think any of them actually live there. They just barricaded themselves in there.
It's a survival story.
Yeah,
and I mean, with all the undertones that Romero has in it.
Well, yeah. Well, originally, like, it was a bold choice to cast. I'm gonna break the podcast, but like the black guy that played in the first one, like it was looked at as like, oh, he's breaking the trend because of you normally didn't cast black people. It was a big deal back in the day, like in 1968 is when it came out. Yeah, that they cast Dwayne Jones as Jones. Yeah, he was the black guy.
That's a cool name.
Yeah, he was the black guy in Night of the Living Dead. He was the lead. Yeah, it was a big deal, but like, I agree with what Romero did because it was the same shit as how I look at it. It's, well, he's the best actor. Yeah, that audition.
He's the best for the job. That's it. I mean,
that's it. There you go. And they tweaked the story a bit because like they made it so that way there was some sort of racial tension between him and the bald guy.
Oh yeah.
But that's just how it was because.
Well, I mean, fucking.
And it was the same thing in the '86 remake.
I mean, you have to look at the fucking idea of, okay, they're telling him it's not good to hire a black lead actor. Okay, well, now we just add a little racial tension, and guess what? We are in the times.
Yeah, we're hip and with it now.
We are hip and with it and fucking angry.
Yeah. So I liked this.
If it's a shot for shot, I feel like horror is done well through less is more. So you take away the color, and now you don't see the red of the blood, but it's black. And that just hits more visceral to me.
I agree with you. This is the whole reason why, like, I think It Follows was more effective for me because it's not like people were getting killed, but it's because the psychological game that you're playing with yourself, where it's like, what would you do, kind of deal.
It's the idea that you give your own mind the rope, and the mind itself is going to make the noose. Yeah, and you're just going to hang yourself with that. It's the less you show in a horror film, the less that you're given in a horror film, So Night of the Living Dead had, as far as I'm aware, like minimal music, or like it had big music beats for like when the zombies were attacking to show the tension. But like in the house, like I remember it was nearly dead silent, if anything. And then it's the black and white, so you get the sharpest contrasts. But then you also get that, what's in the shadows always. Yeah. So adding color to it, like it's not a bad choice. It's fine. You can remake it as much as you want, but I feel like it loses some of the luster from it.
Yeah, like, and you got to remember, if you guys are going to watch the original, it's a lot slower paced than the newer one, and I mean, there's no replacing the original. Like, when everybody thinks Night of the Living Dead, they're thinking the black and white, not the color remake. Yeah. But, I mean, the color one it had its purpose too.
Right. Well, I mean, fucking the color one's also owned by fucking Romero or the studio or whoever, so it's not fucking gone into public. You can't just watch it on TV. I'm pretty sure that's what the whole reason for it being remade was. Yeah. It's so that they could grab some rights and be like, okay, well, we want to sell Night of the Living Dead. We can sell this version. We can't sell the public domain one.
Yeah, so that one is, I'm sure the black and white one is in public domain.
Yeah, good times.
Okay, so this one is the big bad one, the long anticipated one.
Oh boy,
October 2nd, 1997. Castlevania Symphony of the Night for
Fucking
PlayStation.
Christ. I never played Symphony of the Night.
Whoa.
Nope. Dude, I fucking... What was my first My first Castlevania was Castlevania 1. I played that on the fucking NES.
On the NES.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I played Castlevania 2. And then I skipped a whole bunch of games. And then I played Lament of Innocence on the PS2, which was like a God of War.
Yeah.
And
I actually enjoyed that one.
I really enjoyed that one. That was...
There was a combo system.
Yeah, it was the same for me in my eyes for the Castlevania series. Like that could have been their Resident Evil 4, where they bunk the old trend of being a 2D fucking whip things, that Dracula thing, and then they could have gone God of War with it. But then they ruined that.
Oh,
like,
they
later down the line they fucked it up with fucking what's the name of it? See, it's so bad I can't
Dawn
remember
of Sorrows?
I think I'm wearing the shirt for it actually. This is a fucking Konami Castlevania shirt, but I'm like yeah, something like that, Dawn of Sorrow or something.
Like, so Dawn of Sorrows had this, one of my favorite fucking things I've ever seen ever.
Yeah.
Was the cover of Dawn of Sorrows was for the DS or the 3DS or something like that. But the image on the cover was like if somebody took a picture of the game.
Oh, yeah.
So it's kind of Inception.
Oh, nice.
Because it says
cool.
like on the side of the picture it says Konami, and then it says Castlevania Dawn of Sorrows, and then next to that is a bar inside the border.
One. Yeah, no, it's the meme one. Oh, that's good
it's
times.
so fucking great.
But no, Symphony of the Night. What the fuck? That's on PlayStation.
This one was the one that everybody dubbed Metroidvania.
Yeah.
This one was you started as Richter Belmont with the bad fucking voice acting.
It was not by my hand that I'm once again given flesh. I was called here by humans who wish to pay me tribute.
Tribute? You steal men's souls and make them your slaves.
It's the speedrun one.
Yeah, this is the speedrun one. And the whole game is fucking brilliant because it all takes place in the one mansion.
Yeah. And
each area of the mansion unlocks a different ability for you to use towards other bosses.
Yeah, that's right.
It played very much like Metroid.
Yeah, it's a shame that I didn't play it. That's what I'm saying, because I'm like it's a really good game, and I love watching speedruns of it. I love fucking seeing it played. I've played similar games. I've played the DS and the I think there's a PSP game for it, or that could have just been emulated. But yeah, no, I'm like, I like the style of game. I like the games that pay homage to it. Like fucking, you're looking at like big hits like fucking Hollow Knight and fucking Salt and Sanctuary. Fucking Dark Souls takes homage from it with its level design, because it's like, okay, well, you have the whole because you can skip portions, but you still have like a set determined path, or like there is a recommended path.
Yeah, there's a recommended path, but there's like almost every room is integral to the game.
Yeah, and it's like you're gonna go everywhere, so you get a little bit of freedom. And then if you watch the speed runs, if you ever want to take those tips under your belt, then you get all freedom, because then you're fucking zipping through doors and stuff.
Yeah, because like the idea is that like, yeah, there's the main path that you should be taking, but if you go into the other rooms, you can get power-ups, weapons, armor, things like that, because it became kind of like an RPG-esque.
I was gonna say, I'm like, this didn't have a level up system, right?
It did.
Oh, it did. This one was one. Oh man,
it's worth your time. Absolutely worth your time.
I should
Max.
go do that. I have a PSP. I haven't booted up in a while.
It's worth your time. You can bring it with you to work, and also like, 'tis the season, I guess. If you want to play spooky shit, this isn't really spooky, but this is just a very, very good game.
Yeah,
this
I love the Castlevania series because they always use the classic monsters, like the public domain monsters, like Frankenstein and Dracula
and the mummies
Medusa heads. The fucking wall.
This one got the accolades for being the best Castlevania. I tend to agree with it.
Oh yeah.
Because like it's funny when you talk about Castlevania, because it goes into one of two categories. Either it's nostalgic and it's the best ever, or what the fuck just happened here. Because like, not just Dawn of Sorrows, we're talking like all the games on the N64.
Yeah.
Fucking awful. Because the problem was like you were saying, like 3D is buggy as hell.
Oh yeah.
The problem was not just like just the control itself, because I couldn't control the camera.
Yeah.
So there were times where the camera would be under the floor, kind of looking up.
Good times.
And I'm like, I can't fucking see what I'm doing.
See, that should have taught them. I mean, I guess it did teach them the lesson, because every Castlevania after the 64 ones was 2D side scroller until you hit the PS2 again.
Yeah.
But then it got that one good. But yeah, no. Symphony of the Night, huh?
It is worth your time, absolutely, Max. I'm not lying to you.
Because I'm pretty sure I know that game just from watching speed runs and 100% runs of it. Because I do love Castlevania, because like I played 1 and 2 and 3 and fucking I think it was 4 with the fucking whip that you controlled. Like you press the whip button, and then you press the directions, and it just jiggles around.
Yeah, that was the Super Nintendo one.
That was super dumb.
Yeah,
but like I played the classic ones, and then I played the newer ones, and I'm like, I never played Symphony of the Night. I didn't hit the PS1 one.
Okay, so aside from me selling it to you, so things about this game that I loved.
Yeah.
So you play as Alucard throughout all of it.
Yeah.
Right?
But
so there's so much. You
Richter?
Start as Richter, right?
Yeah.
So the story starts as you as Richter, and you were just OP as shit. You just
yeah.
one-shot everything.
And
And
like that.
And that's the idea, is because like as soon as the story gets going and you play as Alucard, you realize you're underpowered.
So
everything
you're
takes
saying,
combos.
So Metal Gear Solid 2 ripped off Castlevania.
Yep.
Because it gave you a badass, and then it took it away from you.
And then now you have to play as Raiden.
And now you have to play as Raiden.
And then
did Alucard have white hair?
Yes.
Motherfuckers. Fucking Kojima's a fucking hack.
And then, like, every now and then you'd be, like, doing your mission, you're fighting the knights that are just walking around, and then all of a sudden you get called up, and it's like, Snake, we need you to go, we need you to save the DARPA chief.
God
it's
damn
like,
it.
God damn it. But, so beside that, it's, you play as Alucard, and there's a level up system, and that actually is kind of cool, because then there's a lot of, like, tactical thinking, because there's parts of the mansion that are like all on fire, and you take fire damage, but you have to find where the fire resistant, like, I don't know if it was a tunic or a cape or something like that,
right?
But you essentially did the Legend of Zelda thing, where you had to find the
you had to get special items and shit. Fuck,
it's so good.
It is a Metroidvania.
And then the extra content of the game is that you play through the mansion upside down, or you can play through the mansion as Richter. Or you can play through the mansion as Richter upside down, right? So
3 flavors of awesome.
So the way Alucard and Richter play are completely fucking different, but you have to beat it as Alucard first.
Okay, see, I love unlockable stuff.
Yeah, the way Alucard and Richter play are completely different, because like Alucard can turn into a bat and fly through shit.
Okay.
Richter does not have that ability, but his combos are more effective and they're a lot more fun, and it is a lot of unlockable content. For anybody listening, it is worth your time to revisit if you've never played this one. If you're too inundated with the whole like, I have to play a fucking MMO or something that has a bunch of people in it, then this isn't for you. But if
most games aren't, like a lot of games from the past aren't for you. Hell, fucking nowadays games aren't for you.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying that it's not fun to play with your buddies.
Yeah.
You know, because like we were just going over this whole nostalgia of Halo 3, where it was I like having games where I can play with a bunch of people.
Yeah.
But for a solo player game, the story in this is fine. The story is like the weakest point, I think. The best parts of the game are the gameplay, the music, the fucking...
Oh, fucking the music.
Oh.
So fucking... Just type in fucking on YouTube fucking Castlevania music, OST, and just fucking listen. Because like from Castlevania 1, I don't think there has been a bad song to come out of Castlevania.
Yeah. Don't fuck that up by typing Castlevania JAV. That's a different thing.
That's something else. I'd watch that too. Put that on the back burner. But listen, you know what? Watch it while you listen to the music. But I'm like, fucking, I don't think I've heard a bad beat out of Castlevania music. Whoever the hell they get for those tracks is amazing every time.
Yeah.
So fucking, the atmosphere is always good. Music's always good. I didn't play the game itself, but hey, if you say it's good, it's good. And it did birth so many great games now. So it's like fucking, they hit something right.
Yeah. So that was that was worth your time. So let's go into the Scumbag Stupid News and we'll wrap it up. We've been going kind of long.
Whatever. Whatever. Just cut more.
Yeah.
Chop and whatever.
Sure.
Do magic.
Scumbag Stupid News.
Okay, so Tinder rolls out a new feature which allows women to make the first move. Right, because the glass ceiling was keeping them from doing this before, or as the French call it, broads under glass.
Hey. Thanks, French.
So the internet is at it once a motherfucking again, right? Being ridiculous as hell. When Claudia Kim was cast to play Nagani in the latest Harry Potter installment, yes, you little dipshits, she's an actress hired to play a character in a movie. I'm sorry we didn't reach out to the former Animorphs, right? To find somebody who can actually turn into a snake. There was a whole uprising about this bitch.
Thing about this?
Yeah, that she was hired to play somebody that's a half snake person, and because she's
a normal
half
person.
white, half Asian, or something like that.
What?
Yeah.
Whatever, dude. You know, the only uproar about Harry Potter that I cared about was them making Hermione black.
The only uproar I cared about was that the porn parody wasn't all that good. Thanks, Brazzers.
Thanks.
From the mind
good.
From the mind of an actual genius, Kanye West changes his name to Ye, just Y-E.
Okay.
He claims it saves him 3/5 of the time. A woman accidentally checks the box of "Are you a terrorist?" Man, she gets detained at the airport, and I'm thinking ISIS is pretty desperate if this is their new recruitment method.
Jesus Christ. I just did it as a joke, man. Just a joke.
So Facebook had another breach. 50 million accounts were apparently compromised. Let's face it, your shit's out there, and it's been read more than the Harry Potter series.
Right? Fucking hell.
Speaking of not doing their job, hotel workers in Hawaii are being replaced by Alexa. The boss of the hotel asked Alexa for better employees, and she was like, well, why not me?
Done.
I'm excited to see where Amazon goes with this. Like their next line of time-traveling assassin robot bodybuilders.
Hell yeah.
Oh, man. Okay, so Arizona gets lit as fuck.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, did you see this? Arizona has a gender reveal party, and off-duty Border Patrol agent causes $250,000 in damage at a gender reveal party by setting a sawmill ablaze.
Jesus Christ. What the fuck is going on in Arizona? Like, that whole statement you said is just ridiculous.
Oh, well then, we'll close it all up with an even more ridiculous story.
Oh, good.
Clapping has now been banned at Manchester University, according to the Telegraph. The student union is now saying clapping can be seen as a microaggression due to the fact that it can trigger anyone afraid of loud noises. Whooping, cheering, and other verbal noises are discouraged because it can shame people that can't make the same noises. Instead, they suggest jazz hands to replace applause. Yeah, this kind of shit isn't destructive or a colossal waste of time at all.
Jesus Christ.
It won't be long before jazz hands is seen as cultural appropriations. You fuckers won't be happy until we can't do anything without asking permission first, right?
Jesus fucking Christ. I'm proud to be an American where we clap in theaters and we fucking yell and we fucking scream and we get up and we holler because we're fucking dumbass motherfuckers.
Yeah, I'm like...
God.
Yeah, this will go over well at the fucking Academy Awards or
Christ.
like that might actually happen there. But I'm just saying, like places like the rodeo.
Oh,
you think they're not going to
God.
stand up and whoop and hoot and holler and shit like that?
Man. Nah, man.
The
Oh,
more
boy,
the
that's
more
good.
people do shit like this, the more it makes me like, oh, I should check out this NASCAR stuff,
Man,
huh?
You know what? You know what? I feel like I missed out on getting a good higher education because all I see from universities and shit is shit like this.
Yeah, because
you
I
know?
can't wait for standing ovations to be a fucking
my God.
microaggression. Oh, well, you're shaming people who can't stand up.
Fucking Christ, dude. Okay, so on fucking Twitter, what was trending for me was fucking I believe it was Saints and Browns. I don't know.
Okay,
But-
so the football game.
The football game. There was a football game because I don't watch the normal games. I only watch the big game. And fucking,
Damn.
I'm saying, hey, fucking, I don't want to see a bunch of losers losing. I want to see the fucking winners coming at it. But nah, so fucking, there's a guy who was fucking sitting in a wheelchair and he was fucking trying to stand for the fucking anthem, and fucking dude behind him, opposite team fan, holding him up by his shoulders to help him. And I'm like, that's what's trending for me. You know what? And you know what those guys did at the end of that? They probably fucking clapped. And then in the middle of the game, one dude probably punched the other.
Because fuck you.
Fuck you. My team's better.
Like, you better be talking Saints over Browns. Like, I'm not a Saints fan and I'm not a Browns fan. Like, I am more of a Browns fan than a Saints fan because they not because like the Browns are the underdog, but because like they normally cover the spread. Like last year they went 15 for 16 covering the spread.
Oh shit!
Like they lost one game to the spread.
Fuck.
But if you put money on the Browns all last year, you won 15 out of 16 times.
Shit, that's good.
So and this year they're 3-1 on the spread.
Oh, they're working it.
Yeah, they are fucking awesome. So if you have money, put them on the Browns.
There you go. Fuck.
All right. So that was the Scumbag and Friends show, and we will catch you next time. Anything out the door?
Yeah, my feet.
Oh yeah, I still like beer too.
Yeah, I like beer.